guys, I'm Dani and this is my second episode for Unreal Engine 5. In this series, we are going to create a third-person game from scratch in Unreal Engine 5. Yeah, it's our second episode, so let's do it. It is not really a usable level right now, so we need some materials. The thing we could do to get some really good quality texture and material is to use Quaxel content. You could right click on wherever you want, add Quaxel content, and the Quaxel bridge would be open to you. Probably you need an account. You could use your Epic account and you need to sign in. So obviously I do have some assets in here, so if I just choose my local tab, I could see my assets, but probably you are new to this, so you don't have all these things. You could choose different environments in here. We have different collections, and one of the things I really like is the Japanese tropical jungle or Nordic jungle. I'm from Iran and I'm living in Germany, so a Nordic forest would be the closest thing I experienced in my life. Well, I'm from north of the Iran, so basically I grew up in jungles. Yeah, you could choose different materials in here, but it would be way more better if they are ground materials. You have different options in here. I think the low quality would be 1080p and we have 2K, 4K and 8K. I'm not sure about the exact resolution of each picture, but yeah, we have materials and materials are created via different textures. So just choose whatever you like and just download it. Then you could choose the add button, and the add button would add the material to your project. After you did that, after you choose the good material for your ground, you could access it through content, Megascan, and surface. Okay, so what are the materials? Materials is the object that is going to determine how your texture are going to be displayed over your mesh. So these are textures, simple images, and yeah, this is a albedo texture, that is the color of your mesh. We have a normal texture in here. The normal texture is going to give some big sort of depth to your texture, so it's going to act somehow like you have actually a three-dimensional shape, but it's just camera trick. And now we have our weird texture, ORD. The reason the name is ORD because it's three separate textures and they are combined together with a technique called color channel packing, something like that. If you choose R channel, you could see, okay, what is the name? Okay, ORD. So the first would be ambient occlusion, roughness, and D for displacement. So what are these things? What are these three different textures? Okay, we could now take a look at it. First of all, the thing you want to do is to create a layer. Just choose a folder that sounds right to you. It's up to you to manage your project. So the thing I want to do is to create a folder in here, and I call it material. Now I could right click in here and create a material, but the thing is I actually want to have different layers, not only one single layer. So what could I do in here is to go to the material tab and use material layer. Now I need a name for it. Material layer 1 would be a good name for my first. Okay, so you are facing something horrible in here. This is called blueprint. Blueprint is our substitute for programming because, yeah, C++ is not the best place to start, especially when it's extremely awfully documented in Unreal Engine. So, this is the node that is going to output our material. Now we have set material attributes. We had that by default by, removed it. Okay. Now we have our material in here. We have different kind of previews. We could just change it to any shape we like. I think a plane would be a good place. Yeah, it's a good shape. As I said, materials have something to do with textures. So we need to get our textures. Go to Mega Scans, now surface, and just choose our first layer texture. So I want to use, this one. Okay, so you could just grab your textures and grab them and drag them here. Okay, so we have our texture now. Somehow we need to connect these things to here. Obviously, our textures are going to be different attributes to our material. You could create a node. The node name is make material attributes. You could right click and just search for it. You just connect this node to here or directly to here, whatever you are comfortable with. Okay. The RGB, this image is going to be used for our base color. That's simple enough. That's it. Nothing more. That is our normal map. As I explained before, it's going to be to normal. Well, this texture, the combination of RGB would create our output, our texture. But the ORDB one is a little different. The O would be for ambient occlusion, because we are using RGB in Unreal Engine. That would be the order, ORD, RGB. So ambient occlusion. What would be R? Yeah, obviously roughness. Okay, I would connect the roughness in here. And the blue node. The blue channel would be D for displacement. Actually, at the current stage of Unreal Engine, displacement isn't really implemented well enough, so we are not going to see the displacement effect right now. Hopefully the Epic team is going to create that soon. That is, I have to do something with tessellation. It's not officially supported. It's on experimental, on Nanoid and Landscape, so just connect it in here and hopefully in the future it could be useful. But at the moment, no, it's not really useful. That is what it is. The important thing is, because our texture could get quite heavy, we need to do something here. On the sampler source, we should use shared wrap. This way we could use more textures for more materials. I actually don't know what would be shared. I guess they would share something in random access memory or in GPU RAM. I don't know. I'm not that smart. So, but yeah. Now, we created our first layer. We have one layer in here. Now, if you select your object and press Ctrl and D, you could duplicate it. Now we have 3 materials. Okay, we need to change our texture for our new materials. You go to Mega Scan, Surface, Mossy. Okay, this would be, I just hate the UI in this. Okay, that would be okay for now. That would be also okay, and yeah, that would be fine as well. Now our second layer is ready. Let's go for the third layer. Rocky. That would be okay. And this for this, and this for this. Okay. It is important for you to save actually. You need to use Control S. Yeah, it's like it's 2000. Unreal Engine is not that smart. So if you go to materials that, or whatever filter you choose, you could see your different layers. Actually, if you don't want to use layer, it's going to be quite simple. You just need to create a default material and the rest of it would be just like this. The reason I choose layer is for this part. So now I could create a plain material ground parent. There is a reason I created the parent. Okay, this is our main material. Most of the time we are going to use this form of material. But since I want to blend different textures together or different materials together, I need my layers over there. So I could right click in here, landscape layer blend. Yeah, and in here I need to break material attributes. Okay, so we are going to connect our layers in here. We have 3 layers. We need to give them some name. Layer 1, layer 2, and layer 3. Okay, now I could just drag and drop my materials in here. Well, a small warning. If you think that you could just create one material and then create different instance of it, if you already know what is an instance, well, you can't. I don't know why, but it doesn't work right now. So you just need to do it like this. Now we have blends between these 3 layers. So in here we just break the attributes and okay, now we just connect them. And okay, so as you see, displacement isn't really activated in here, but yeah, it is what it is. Okay, ambient occlusion, I need that as well. Now the weird thing is we need to actually create a material instance. Yeah, these 3 things shouldn't have an instance, but this one should. I don't know why. No, you could choose your landscape in here on outliner, and well, you should look for landscape material. No, you should choose your instance in here. Okay, instance. Okay, and drag it to here. The shaders are going to be prepared. You could see something black like this. Or in order for you to paint these materials in here, you need to go to landscape and choose paint. Now, what you see here is there is no layer information in here, but you need layer information. Okay, so if you face that problem that everything was black and you couldn't paint anything, you could actually solve that with rebuild data on the next part. So basically, this is our first layer. You should see your first layer by default when you create your layer info. If you can't see it, try rebuilding your nanite. And now if I go to paint and select my second layer in here, I could use different brush types and brush sizes to paint my second material in here. Okay, now you could see that I have the power to paint. You could choose different brush types. I really like to use something with noises. is way more realistic. Well, you could really use your imagination to create something cool. Unfortunately, I'm not an artist, I'm an engineer, so yeah, it is what it is. My designs are not going to be really that impressive. But nevertheless, I could identify some problems in here. You see, our texture is extremely repetitive in here. You could just obviously see the pattern. Well, that indicates that our texture size is not correct. We don't have any good tiling in here. So that should be resolved. So basically what you have to do in here is to change this UV. Okay. Yes, texture coordinate is the node we need. You should just connect this node to your UVs. You should do this for all of the textures you have. So U and V would determine how your texture would be repeated on your material or on your surface. I think if I choose a value like this, it would make more sense. Yeah, it's a little bit better. Not much, but yeah, definitely better. Okay, now things are much better. I mean, not really much better, but yeah. Now what we have actually look like a game. Actually could be presented as a game. Well, the thing is, I can't really tell you that what would be best value for your UV, because probably your size of the surface would be different and the size of your texture would be different. So yeah, just keep in your mind that probably you need to change that. That is our second part for our tutorial. I guess it would be good for here, but for now, remember that you could just paint over repetitive part. Of course, there are different ways that you could make a repetition less noticeable with rotating and some flipping techniques for the textures, but yeah, that would be a discussion for another tutorial. Guess that's it for now. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and I would really appreciate if you could give me a like, comment, or even a subscribe. That would be great. So see you later, guys.